What's good? What's good? Welcome to this presentation. This is Trey, and today I want to talk about sexy archetypes. All right. If you ever heard me use this word before, essentially, sexy archetype is a type of guy who women typically find sexy or find attractive in a sexual way. So, typical sexy archetypes, right? Bad boy, biker, businessman. What else we got? Rocker. There's different ones. Basically, from your observation, what are the top type of guys that women tend to be attracted to, right? So those are what I would call sexy archetypes. Now, one of the things I do when I walk up to a woman, obviously I want to demonstrate that I'm a sexy archetype, right? I've went for the bad boy look, right? The bad boy with the edge type of thing. That's the look I went for. I actually designed myself to look this way. If I want to, I can make myself look like a nice guy, right? I can make myself look like a nerd. I can make myself look like a regular dude, but I went for the bad boy look. Not because I'm trying to pretend to be a bad boy, but that's what I relate to. That's actually how I am. I'm rebellious by nature. I don't give a fuck, whatever. So I went in that route. Instead of apologizing for it, I just went there. Now, there's certain women that are just into that archetype, right? But there's other archetypes, right? So you find one that works for you. Now, there's also like a deeper way to go into this. So, for example, one of the things I talk about is carrying yourself like a king, right? You're not literally... Are you literally a king in the sense that you actually have a castle? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But you can get in the frame of mind of how a king would carry himself, right? How a king would carry himself. You could make yourself look like the Kung Fu Panda. Hell yeah. How a king would carry himself. How would a king carry himself, right? Well, that's the vibe. That's the energy. That's a sexy archetype. A woman would love to be with a king. So you carry yourself like a king. Now, we have the power of imagination. So what I do to keep things interesting, because I do cold approach, I like to go out and approach women. But if you approach a woman and you walk up to her and you're on some regular shit, like just normal, like, hey, how are you doing? Or, hey, how's it going? Or, like if you walk up to her on some regular shit, bro, don't expect to like really capture her interest or really turn her on. Especially if it's a beautiful woman. Like, remember how many dudes are trying to get at her. So when you approach her, you got to approach her on some different shit. Like, put yourself in her shoes. Like, what type of guy do you think would get her attention? Right? So one of the archetypes that I tap into is the Dark Lord of Seduction. What the hell is a Dark Lord of Seduction? Well, imagine, what do you think that would be? Imagine if there was a Dark Lord of Seduction. How would he communicate? How would he look at a woman? How would he carry himself? What would his body language be like? What would the tonality of his voice? What would his mannerisms look like? What if you imagine yourself right before you're about to approach a woman? You imagine yourself, I'm a Dark Lord of Seduction. You'd walk up to her and you'd have a look in your eye and you'd be like, how you doing? It's not no bullshit. You're in the character. You're playing the character. You're feeling the energy of it. You're in it, right? One of the things I do when I'm about to have sex, I imagine myself as a vampire, right? Why not? I want to tap into the energy, the vibes, the frequency of a character that would do really well in the situation I'm in. A vampire, I'm pretty sure, would be pretty good if in bed with a woman. He would go for her neck. He would be all over her, right? Because he wants, vampires, they want the human's blood, right? So how would a vampire be on a woman, right? So, but that's me tapping into archetypes, into characters that will basically serve me depending on the situation. So when it comes to approaching a woman, what I'm going for is I'm going for high levels of attraction. And I'm going for desire. So I'm going to approach her as a Dark Lord of Seduction, whatever that means to me. I'm going for that because I know a Dark Lord of Seduction would probably be good at cold approach. Don't you think so? A Dark Lord of Seduction would probably be good with women. So let me tap into that. Let me go into my imagination. Imagine I'm a Dark Lord of Seduction. Imagine I have a black outfit on, a black cape. You know, maybe have some gold, you know, some gold linings. You know, a nice gold chain, of course. You know, maybe some arts, you know, like on the sleeves. I tap into that character and then I approach the woman. That's going to go a lot better than if I approach her, oh, man, I don't know if she's going to like me. Man, I'm not sure if I should do it. You know, if I approach her with that energy, it's a whole different reaction I'm going to get from her versus if I approach her as a Dark Lord of Seduction, right? Or if I approach her as a king, or I approach her as an emperor, or I approach her as a Greek god, or whatever. Basically, we have the power of imagination and we need to use it. It works. It actually works when you tap into your imagination. You know, I put a question in the group. Are you approaching a woman as a lion or as a panda? Or sorry, not a panda. A lion or as a penguin. Right? A lion, if you approach a woman as a lion, we would assume, right? Even if we didn't know, even if we didn't see how you approached her, but if you told us, hey, I approached her as a lion, we would assume you approached her with confidence, with courage, with determination, with focus, with groundedness, with masculine energy, right? Qualities that would be attractive to a woman, right? And now if you said you approached her as a penguin, we would think you walked up to her like all friendly and nice and gentle and da-da-da, and you probably communicated that you're a good friend and probably ended up in the friend zone. Introduce yourself as Zeus. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Now imagine you tap into that energy. I am Zeus. I am Zeus. How are you gonna speak? How is your voice gonna come across? How's your mannerism? Your head is gonna be up. You're gonna look her directly in the eye because you're Zeus. That's the character you're playing. That's the archetype you are, in that you are God when you approach her. Versus, man, I don't know if I look good enough today. I don't know if I should approach her. That's you know what I mean? It's the same guy, but just two different identities, two different energies or way of carrying himself. How are you seeing yourself before you approach the woman, before you talk to her, right? So I use my imagination, man. Sometimes I'm about to approach a woman, I say, I'm the Dark Lord of Seduction, right? Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I see myself as a king. Sometimes I see myself as a lion, you know, whatever it is. And this makes it fun for you too. It's not just about getting a woman. You got to have fun approaching women. You don't want to approach women and feel like a chore, feel boring or feel annoying or, oh, here we go again. No, make it fun for yourself. When we were kids, we were so good at making things fun because we used our imagination. So use your imagination, tap into some archetypes, some crazy archetype. It doesn't matter. Dark Lord of Seduction for me, that's me going into my fantasy world. And what would a character that I think would do well if he's about to approach a woman? I really believe a Dark Lord of Seduction would be good at cold approach. So I'm going to be that, right? Whatever character you think would do good in cold approach, what if you just tapped into that energy? Right? Sometimes I tap into the Joker, but my own version of the Joker, not the crazy ass Joker. I just take certain qualities of the Joker that I like. You know, just his ability to just not be reactive, not give a fuck. Nothing can stop him. Right? He laughs in the face of fear and rejection and all that stuff. Like, I take those qualities and I go and I approach the woman with that, my own version of the Joker. Right? Maybe Superman does it for you, whatever. But just know that you have the power to tap into a archetype, a character, an entity that would be attractive to a woman because of the energy that that's gonna come across. Remember, when you approach a woman, you're communicating to her. She's responding to how you make her feel, right? So a Dark Lord of Seduction, I believe, would make her feel attraction. He'd make her feel seduced. He'd make her feel desire, and that's what I'm going for. So let me tap into that. Let me approach a woman with that energy. Not oh, you know, just let me see if I can say hi. I mean, that's better than nothing, but come on, man. You're going up to a woman that's really attractive, that has tons of men approaching her. Are you going to walk up to her on some regular shit, or are you going to tap into an archetype that's going to capture her attention, capture her interest, and create desire, make her want you? Who is this guy? Are you going to bring her into a fantasy world she's never been in? She's tired of Her world is like the same shit over and over. You walk up to her as a dark lord of seduction. You walk up to her as Zeus, Kung Fu Panda, right? But you know, this is interesting, man. This is what makes life fun when you can do things like this. You tap into your imagination, and nobody knows when you're doing it. Nobody know. That's the thing. You don't go up to people and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." Nobody knows you're tapping into your imagination. They're just gonna think you're cool as fuck. They're gonna be like, "Yo, that dude's cool as fuck." You don't, and they're not gonna know. I don't tell when I'm using my imagination. I'm not like, "Hey, by the way, I'm about to shapeshift into a dark lord of seduction." Just so you guys know. No, I'm not telling anybody, right? I just go up. I just walk up to her with that vibe, and that's what it is, right? Whatever vibe I want to get into, whatever vibe is necessary. I'm going to a party. I may imagine myself, okay, what's a character that would do well in a party? You know, maybe I think about the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort in the movie, how he was in the movie. Maybe I want to tap into. You can do. I could do whatever I want, but nobody's gonna know what character I'm playing in my head. It's in my head, right? All they're gonna know is that, man, that guy has good vibes, man. Look, he's having a great time. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Was I tapped into a different archetype? You know, because sometimes I'm in a chill mood. Like I'm chill tray. I'm in chill tray mood, right? But that version of Trey is not gonna serve me if I go into like a high energy party. So I need to shapeshift. I need to transition into another archetype that's gonna make it work for me. That's why we don't need to just be in a box. They try to put us in a box. Oh, he's introverted. Oh, he's extroverted. No, I could be whatever the fuck I want. I could be introverted in certain situations. I could be extroverted in some situations. I could be whoever if I want to be Superman one moment, I could be Superman. Next moment, I'm Batman. Right? I'm whatever I want. But you learn calibration, right? So you don't look crazy. I learned how to calibrate the character to work for me. When I say sometimes I tap into the Joker, I don't go around blowing up hospitals. I don't go around, murdering people. But I take certain qualities that the Joker has that are powerful qualities that would be attractive to a woman. I take those qualities and I embody them, internalize them in my character, and I use them when necessary. So this is just taking the idea of the sexy archetype to like a fantasy world. Nobody told us that we could do this, that you could become an animal or you could become a lord or a god or a king or whatever. Nobody told us we could do this, but when we were kids, we knew it. When you were a kid, you ask a kid, what do you want to be? He says, I want to be a Power Ranger. I want to be I want to be Superman. I want to be a freaking genie. They'll say whatever they feel like saying. You can't. There's no limit to what they believe that, and and kids are always having fun. Why? Because they have the power of imagination, and women want to have fun. So if you could walk up to her and create a fun vibe because of the character you're playing, right? That's very attractive to women. Very attractive. What's not that attractive is a dude who just walks up and says the same shit that every other dude says. Hey, I think you're beautiful. And it's not even what you say, because like I said, if I tap into the Dark Lord of Seduction and I say, hey, I think you're beautiful, let me do it. Let me see. Excuse me. Just want to say, you're beautiful. Right? Look at the delivery of that, right? Either she's going to be like, whoa, who is this dude? Or maybe she might be a little creeped out. And if she's a little creeped out, then fuck, let me work on my delivery better, Let me improve my delivery. That's how you learn calibration. You go and try it out. And if it works well, then okay, there you got a character that you can leverage. If it doesn't work, you learn how to calibrate it, right? You learn how to calibrate it. Like when I just started working on my character, right? When I started transitioning from nice guy, beta male to more alpha, more masculine, more grounded, whatever, I had to learn how to calibrate it. At first, it was a little strange, a little awkward. I come off maybe a little too aggressive or come off too try hard or whatever. And you learn to tone it. You learn to keep turning the dials until you get that sweet spot, that seductive spot where you become seductive, where you become silky smooth with your archetype, with your communication. But it's through repetition, through practice. So figure out what are some archetypes you can leverage when you're approaching women, when you're talking to women, if you want to be more attractive, more compelling, more seductive. The one I use, Dark Lord of Seduction, right? I said, I tap into the vampire when I'm about to have sex sometimes, You know, whatever character is necessary. Sometimes I see myself as a lion, a black lion. There's no such thing as a black lion, but I created my own character, my own animal, black lion. If there was a black lion, how would it be? I come up with that. You know, I decide what that would be. So what happens when I approach a woman is gonna be unique. It can't be like anybody else, because nobody else is walking up to a woman visualizing themselves as a black lion. Nobody's walking up to a woman visualizing themselves as a dark lord of seduction. So I'm gonna stand out. Okay, I'm gonna stand out. If I go in the club, especially when I go, like, look at your place where you're at. Like the club, the dark lord of seduction works really well in the club, because the club is already dark, right? So I walk in and I got my eyes low and I'm like, who am I gonna seduce tonight? You know, that's my vibe, because I'm a dark lord of seduction. I'm not walking in the club like, man, feeling approach anxiety and man, I don't know who to talk to, and I hope I don't get rejected. Bro, no, man, that's not the way to do it. So that's the advice for today. Find some sexy archetypes that you could tap into. Use your imagination. You know, go into your own fantasy world, make your life interesting, and make your interactions with women interesting. If you're a man watching this, you want more wealth, you want more power, you want more women, join the Masculine Throne. It's a free group. You can join. I'll drop a link to the group. Also, if you want to be a part of my mastermind, I have a mastermind group where we have daily mastermind calls. Every single day we talk about wealth, power, and women. You get to get my insight on how I'm creating wealth, how I'm cultivating power, how I'm attracting women, and you get to hear perspectives from other men around the world, and you get to voice your opinion. Okay, you get accountability if you have goals that you're setting. You get accountability every day. You get feedback from me, feedback from other men, and you got a place where you can just, you know, just be a man, you know what I mean? Where you could talk, say real shit, locker room talk, all of that. And that's the Masculine Mastermind. Right now, it's only $47 a month. Okay, so if you want to be part of the Masculine Mastermind, hit me up, and I'll see you in the next videos. Peace.